This lecture for the session will focus on collective action, collective bargaining. And by the end of this discussion, you should be able to evaluate how key characteristics of selected collective action strategies apply in the workplace to ensure governance, workplace advocacy, and collective bargaining. You also will be able to evaluate decision-making strategies for their effectiveness within diverse work environments. Collective action means working together to achieve something. That something may be patient care. Organizing a group of providers to ensure seamless transitions is one example of a collective action, and that something may focus on the workplace. Having a group sign a petition to support a manager is another example of a collective action, as is committing to work together to cover a colleague's illness. Collective action can also mean organizing for the purposes of collective bargaining. While the purpose may differ, the desire and skill of working together is comparable across situations. While there are many reasons for which people work collectively, we're going to focus on the three common ones found in employment settings where nurses work. These are shared governance, workplace advocacy, and collective bargaining. Shared governance doesn't just expect participation, it demands it. So when the idea of a shared governance is instituted in an organization, it requires that all change the way decisions are made. While staff nurses may have to assume new roles in providing input to decisions, those nurses who previously made the decisions also have to change. They must now deliberately seek the input of the staff. So both manager and follower roles have changed. Tim Porter O'Grady says that shared governance is a democratic, egalitarian concept, a dynamic process, as well as a process of shared decision-making and accountability. When shared governance is first implemented, it is not uncommon to find that there is a committee or two that are charged with specific tasks. As the organization gains experience, these committee structures spread throughout the organization. Getting to better decisions often is one of the outcomes. Because more diversity is included up front, more ideas are tested before a decision is made. Again, because there is evolving support for speaking up and offering ideas, more people risk participating and offering ideas. Those ideas may be about issues presented from management, but they eventually evolve into self-generated ideas. Workplace advocacy describes what we do in advocating for ourselves and our peers. This advocacy process can be supportive when management and staff both agree on the key concepts. It can also be contentious when basic concepts are not agreed to. For example, if both management and staff agree that there needs to be a career ladder, both work towards this end, and perhaps only minor disagreements may occur over a specific dollar amount or how the benefit is accessed. If, however, both groups don't agree, then the focus of the conversation is on the core concept. Although some mutual understanding may be reached, there may be discord within the setting because one side or the other thinks something was forced on them. When everyone is alert to workplace issues such as handling patients, workplaces that are free from abusive behaviors, safe transportation to and from parking facilities, and clear support for professionals speaking up for their patients, workplace advocacy can be a positive experience. Nurse managers can support nursing advances with workplace advocacy strategies by having individuals participate in direct conversations about issues. In other words, support two people with disagreements talking with each other rather than through you. Some nurses have full access to the internet. In some settings, however, nurses can only access the internet through specific and often remote computers. In other settings, if nurses want to validate research on a topic, they must seek assistance from someone such as a manager or educator. Clearly, this approach does not support knowledge-based decision-making. When nurses attempt to resolve this issue, they are using workplace advocacy strategies. Alternative dispute resolution has taken on new meanings in healthcare because it is a formalized process that occurs in situations where no collective bargaining agreement exists. There are 4 common strategies to use this construct. Negotiation may be accomplished between 2 parties in dispute. Someone may help define clear ground rules and the expected outcome, but the way in which the individuals reach agreement is theirs to decide. Facilitation involves the presence of a third party. This person may simply reflect what is being said and raise questions such as, does that fit with what you think? What could you live with in this situation? How does that strike you? This person often starts the conversation and sets the ground rules for how the process will proceed. Mediation is an informal process in which a neutral third party assists the opposing parties to reach a voluntary negotiated resolution of a charge of discrimination. It gives the parties the opportunity to discuss the issues raised in the charge, clear up misunderstandings, determine the underlying interests or concerns, find areas of agreement, and ultimately incorporate those areas of agreement into resolutions. The mediator does not resolve the charge or impose a decision on the parties. Instead, the mediator helps the parties to agree on a mutually acceptable resolution. It is a confidential process limited to the individuals involved. Arbitration is a formal process where the person serving as the arbitrator makes the decision. The decision is binding on both parties because it is used as the last stage in the alternative dispute resolution process. It usually means that clear distinctions in positions have prevented any conclusion about how to move forward. As a result, there may be more difficult emotions associated with this process. Collective bargaining is a formal process where employees select a bargaining agent to represent their interests. It begins with the election of a union or group to represent the employees in a class, such as a registered nurses or groups up to and including all non-management employees within the organization. Collective action strategies can coexist in any given setting. Differences about how to approach collective action exist geographically, philosophically, and certainly by any type of facility. Be informed and proactive about working together on issues of importance to nurses.